You're looking at Saudi Arabia capitalizes more on the team fights. On the side of Indonesia, we also see more of the sustain. Having engaged, having a chance to poke early game is the name of their strategy.
Well, here we go. The last series of the day for this lower bracket. Indonesia has been through the ringer, and Saudi Arabia finding themselves here after the loss against the Philippines. Who comes out on top to meet them in the grand final? It starts out with the first game of the best of three. Vin already has to flicker out, dodging the hook too. This is risky.
Forced out a resource onto the roamer of Indonesia, trying to take a peek out of that orange. Specifically, he doesn't want to even overcommit to use that resource. And right now, Troll is responding in, using the Void Crystal as slow. Look at the hook, Super Ken now being slowed down, but three members of Saudi Arabia present here trying to hold off and push away members of Indonesia at this point in time.
Okay, as no one is pretty much claiming the first blood just yet. That's what you expect, right? Leading into that first turtle, 40 seconds away. A lot of aggression here from both junglers. Super Ken wanting to poke down, even Tarzan forcing them back a little bit longer. He wants to start this momentum early on, right? The rest of the team has to get that level 4 as quick as possible. They need those tools for that first big objective fight. And you can see that's how they're kind of dealing with this rotation, right? Even Vin focusing up here, trying to help out a little bit with Chorizo, because Sanji, we've seen this before in the Chorizo, right? It's deadly. It's quite tanky. As soon as he's level 4, he's almost going to be there for that turtle fight. The penalty zone is a huge threat. You don't want to deal with that. Look at that. They're forcing it up here.
Wow, Sanji on low HP, on level 3, forced.
Won't be there for the fight.
Delaying his XP level just by the turtle showed up in this game. Saudi Arabia, though, is trying to get a peek here on how Super Ken is going on the control. Saudi is looking for a vision.
Free taken.
Freely taken, but meanwhile on the bottom, Saken receiving damage. Tarzan, a Pacer Trap would not connect, but there's Troll. Super Kendo secures the objective. Chorizo as well, trying to secure this orange out of Saudi Arabia's hands. This time around, it's complete diversion. 2 objectives stolen.
Great way to put it, diversion, right? They got the information they needed from the bottom side, putting the pressure there. They got the flicker out from Saken, right? But really, they traded the turtle. Now they've traded their orange buff. They're still trying to deal with the purple here.
Who gets to steal this purple right now? Oh, we have Retribution Herbs back there. So nice this hook. Time, RWM being placed down in the turret on Saudi Arabia. Super Ken. There goes Love Waves. There goes the hard guard. Response onto this Angel. He's running. Using the turret's response. Trying to go into the marathon here.
Wow.
Rapid Boots picked up by Sanji. Super Ken still lives with the pokes and with the aid of the hard guard. Finn, a great reinforcement just in time.
I'm actually surprised with that, right? He literally just broke their ankles rolling around, and he's staying there. Super Ken, along with Vin, putting the pressure. Lark, oh my goodness, first blood from down under with the Astral Recall. Nice snipe shot there.
This is the danger. 3 Impure Rage Knights to 3 present on Indonesia in terms of poke. Even X-Borg has it, Chorizo. A big of a difference for hybrid penetration that we've seen yesterday.
They need it. I mean, those little things do count, but definitely as we take a look at the replay here, you're going to find it. And again, this was the fact that, all right, we were going to get a look at it, but they planted Super Ken there, surviving, and then he gets the heart guard from Vin, and they keep them at bay. Lark is the one who needs the time to build up here on this Irithel. Look at this all again, once again for the buffs.
Sanji and Tarzan is eyeing on his orange. Meanwhile, 4 members. Indonesia is here to defend. Sanji as well, still holding the front line. Looking to knock up Super Ken onto the turret now.
Nice lockdown.
Locked down by the Bloody Hunt. Coffin secures 1 kill. Super Ken falls down.
Good
Making
response.
a double for Coffin. A response by Saudi Arabia just in time for the second objective of the game.
Huge exchange there for Saudi Arabia. Coffin grabbing the double kill there on this Eve is clutch, because as he scales up, has the early kills, he is crucial for a lot of the success here for Saudi Arabia, especially when they start trying to actually contest these objectives. The second turtle is up here. Do they give it away? It looks like they tried to reset and get here in time. It's half health.
half health. Who takes it? Who gets it? Tarzan though has eyes. Retribution's on point. Who gets it? Super Ken secures the objective. Now it's last insanity right on to Sanji. Tarzan is also trying to stay in. Tarzan secures the kill out of Indonesia. One man falls. Sorizo takes another one, a trade of 2-1. Now on for the chase. Stroll still sustaining that pokes from Super Ken, and Saudi Arabia still managing through that skirmish.
Tough one to be in, right? They give up the turtle. Looks like there's still some pressure, obviously, between the two gold laners too. Lark still trying to farm up as much as possible. Still needs plenty of time. Meanwhile, Sakin, he dealt with a little bit of pressure himself, but ultimately is fine farming up. Sorizo, though, like I was just saying about Cuffin, the fact that he got those 2 kills this point in the game is really going to help him out on this export. A hero that typically isn't picked up unless for a certain reason, and that time is the true damage. There's the Heart Guard, Super Ken.
Super Ken might eye on one member here. On the go play in connecting the torn apart memory. Sakin secures the kill. Troll on the other hand, looking for a way to defend himself. He falls down in the hands of Moreno. Sakin now takes another turret. Now Indonesia is on slowly a roll, advancing at a goal 5-3.
Yeah, it's getting there, right? We're talking about this point in the game. They've got themselves the 2 turtles. This is going to be a tier 2 turret. They grab them for themselves as well, furthering that gold lead even more. 6.5 minutes in, now a comfortable almost 3,000 gold ahead. Saudi Arabia, what do they have to do here? They've got to just kind of calm down a little bit. A lot of these hooks that are being thrown out, they have to be able to capitalize on it. You're running the focusing mark. Super Ken is planting himself. He's becoming a resident in the jungle of Saudi Arabia, and that is a problem, obviously, right? So if you want to continue to get gapped here, because that's what's happening to Tarzan. Look at him. He's level 8 to Super Ken level 10, and that's why Super Ken has no problem just taking his buffs, sitting there around that camp and then waiting for this turtle to come up. They've got the green signal to go for it, and that's exactly what they do. So if you're Saudi Arabia and you have this pick-off potential with a Franco, you have to start picking people off. It's going to get out of control, if not faster than Sooners, right? So look at them. They're trying to make play here to up top. The response is coming through. He's going to go back, though. Sanji's not going to deal with it. We take a look quickly at the items, how things are falling into place, and you can see the disparity in damage for Saudi Arabia right now, especially the time that Lark needs to catch up here.
Looking things about to even defend or even have an advantage for damage. The good that you pointed out, the Department of Damage of Saudi Arabia, they might be forced to build defensive items. They might be forced to answer skirmishes such as this. Another objective being eyed by Super Ken, planting himself once again, becoming a complete resident. Stolen once again. No objective, no orange left for Tarzan. He's just circling around, eyeing again the purple.
They both used the retribution for that orange, and now Super Ken still planning himself here. Wants to try to get it, and okay, luckily Tarzan gets the buff finally there, but still, look at this. Working with that level gap still. Conceal play going to be used. Troll might be looking for his own moment.
There's the taunt. Sorizo has the immortality, though, still having a way to survive this. Look at that up top. Finn and Sakin throwing down Torapart memory onto 2. 3 members still present now on a killing spree. Sorizo.
Nice hook.
Nice hook right in the turret. 1 kill secured. Sakin falls down. Saudi Arabia on a retreat, but Super Ken still looking at an avenue here. Look at the poke coming in from Moreno. As for recall, taking the punch out of Saudi Arabia's defense.
Okay. Taking a look at the items here too, right? Things are kind of falling into place. We're waiting for that next big objective, which is going to be the Lord here. And, you know, as we take a look, we got the replay here. Yes, we do. We have it. Look at the damage, right? Socket, but then he gets hooked. And I was like, Troll, you gotta find your pickoffs. That's why you draft this hero, the Franco man, right? You have Franco, and if you are not getting these hooks, if you're not getting pickoffs, then what can you do with that? Not too much. The great thing, Cuffin picking up another big item for him. This will be crucial for them as that Lord fight breaks out, right? He still hasn't died, which is great. Able to set up the Death Box, the real world manipulation like we like to call it. Lark also just picking up Berserker's Fury, but still, you can see it, right? They're down to 5,000 gold. They're not even going to contest this, man. They're just going to give it up over here to Super Ken. Indonesia now securing themselves a Lord here. Not only did they take all the turtles, they take this first Lord, and now their eyes are set on the buffs as well.
Look at the slow, just connecting to Sorizo alone. Divine Glaive making the work Huffin. As you said, the Death Box, the RWM of this Eve, is a big of a threat. A poke, burst, magic damage from Saudi Arabia they can utilize against Indonesia. Meanwhile, up top, someone's being immobilized. They're onto the turret, looking for the taunt. Tarzan receives damage as well. Look at that, Astral Recall being used, and also the Echo. Look at that hit onto that Terizla. Still managing through the defense. Now damage off Moreno is still showing. It hurts by the minute.
It's tough to deal with, right? I mean, at this point, an Ice Queen Wand being picked up for Moreno, it's going to be tougher because you're working against Vision being provided with that Novaria and also poking potential. And every time he lands one of those Astral Recalls, you get slowed, right? So now you're finding yourself dealing with this Lord. It is only the first one. They should be able to clear it up pretty well unless a hook comes through. Super Ken jumps in.
Jumps in, use the Tortoise Puissance. There is the RWM. What is the answer now? Saudi Arabia use the ultimate out. Sanji has his Dominus Ice. Being able to form a defense over Indonesia's damage. Now being pushed into base. Saudi Arabia now still left to defend and clear some minions from all lanes as 11 minutes of the game happens.
Saudi Arabia finding themselves with their backs against the wall in game number 1 here. In this best of 3, it's quite a lot of ground they have to make up if they hold on a little bit longer. A lot of teams don't end it here this early on. There are a few that do. That hook is not going to find the target, though.
That's the penalty zone onto Thu. Looking at that part, that's still damage. We felt that damage onto Sanji. We felt that coming through. And looking just by his items, he has the Dominance Eyes, even just the Athena Shield. Wow, just making the magic work. That's a complete setup that he can give for his team.
What we need here, if you're Saudi Arabia, is, let's say, another 3 minutes. Lark has 2 of the items he needs on this Irithyll. He's got to build that third one, and then you can really start to play around that. You saw a great penalty zone, by the way, from Sanji, but as I was saying, they're lacking damage, man. There's not much you can do to follow up against that, especially with the sustainability from Indonesia, right? Vin already having this Angela alone, and then he's picking up a Genius Wand. So picking that up to help whittle down the magic defense of Saudi Arabia so that it's even more painful to get poked by Moreno, right? Lark is now finally picking up his third item here. He's got the Hosklots. This helps him sustain some of the fight, right? But so far, like I said, some of the damage is just too much to handle unless they can take a member out here. So that might be the game plan. You can see them. They know the information. Lord is up here. Do they actually want to contest it? It doesn't look like it. Cerezo holding down this part of the map. Won't even let them get close.
Yes, Cerezo just boxing out everyone, but Saudi Arabia, Super Ken secures the Lord. Now they might be in a chance if taking down one. Lark secures. Look at the damage and the poke just coming in from Moreno. Sanji now being trapped in 4. Now penalty zone being used to retrieve back, even to hold. No damage connects on the stock and secures the point. Indonesia, another take, objective and a kill. Forced Saudi Arabia back against retreat back to their base.
Now that they've secured themselves that Lord, they're going to be making their way. It goes to the top side. The rest of Indonesia will focus on the rest of these resources, and then they wait to go probably the mid lane. Vin going to go ahead and push out this bottom, trying to even out these waves a little bit here so that the timing is right into the push of the base. In Saudi Arabia, can they clear these waves quick enough, right? It's the second Lord of the game. It should be rather quick, but again, they're lacking in damage. They're going to lose this inhibitor turret on the top side. Base now a little bit exposed here. Can they hold on to these two? That's the work that's cut out for him. They're going to get poked down from Moreno. That's all he has to do. Stay this far out of the base, throw out some Astral Recalls, and call it a day. Lark, though, going to push them back. Nice hook.
A great hook by Troll now. This is the defense that they're trying to hold. Super Gendo with a response of the hard guard, plus the love waves onto poke, onto the sustain. Indonesia entering the base of Saudi Arabia now, just taking one more turret down. One defensive turret left for Saudi Arabia. They're on a cleanup. Clearly seeing potentially of taking down the base of Saudi Arabia. Indonesia on the lead, onto the damage and onto the defense. How will they hold this damage now if you're Saudi Arabia?
Buying more time. At this point, that's all they can do, right? We're nearly at 10,000 gold deficit. And like we said earlier in the series today, we have seen turnarounds. But Chorizo going to jump in with Last Insanity.
Last Insanity, will this be their chance now to initiate? Look at that, RWM, Chorizo though falling down low. Still has the immortality now, Sakin secures one kill, Sanji falls down.
Wow, he's still alive.
Spellvamp not being present now for Saudi Arabia, completing one more pickoff. So there is still time needed for Indonesia to even march in the base. They're looking for a catch, they're looking for a jump. So far, nobody's overcommitting yet for Saudi Arabia.
I think they still want to end it here. They know they've got the numbers advantage. Super Ken going to zone them out. Turret's going to fall here. Do they give it a go? It looks like they're just going to call it back. They're happy with fully exposing the base, right? They know 30 seconds from now, next Lord's going to be up. They're primed and ready to take their third win of the game. And once that happens, that's where it really comes down to it. Saudi Arabia, do you have enough damage now to deal with the Lord, to deal with the minions pushing in, the buffed up minions, and hopefully win some team fight? You know, that's where you have to be if you're Saudi Arabia. So right now, with Indonesia, full control of the game, 10,000 gold ahead. There you go. Lark picks up the Malefic Roar. I believe that is his 4th item, which is what he needs. We're 16 minutes into the game. He's finally where he needs to be, right? That's how far behind they were in the damage department. But I still think you don't contest this. You just try to clear things out the best you can. It looked like they wanted to even get the tier 1 on the top side. They couldn't get it though. So now, once again, base defense is where you're at for Saudi Arabia. You got to hold on. Don't get cut off here. That's exactly what Super Ken was looking for. And they are now at this point. 3rd Lord marching in the mid and expect Indonesia to force this situation. They're looking to cap out the game here before we get to that 20-minute mark.
Waves pushing in, Lord in mid. How will they defend? Tarzan has the Athena shield. Will this be enough? Automatic damage that Moreno has. Troll used the hook too early. Super Ken just rolling around in deep in the base of Saudi Arabia. Tarzan now falling and dropping down low. Void was trying to hold on and slow down 1 minute, but Chorizo now on to the Last Insanity. Bursting down 2, bursting down 3. Base lock now by Indonesia, now pushing all minions are in the base. Holding it through, damage is too much. Indonesia